Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Happy Friday. Happy Friday to each and every one of you. Look, I got my favorite libation for the evening. I'm done. It's over. This is it. This is what I got. That's my agua. That's my agua. That's it. I'm good. What's going on, fam? Appreciate you guys checking in on a Friday freaking evening. Look, what if we're wrong? Trading altcoins, what if we're wrong? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, or the lottery? This is the feedback I'm getting. What's going on right now? You guys know I shared a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, about how I was de-risking the portfolio. And 4 months ago, talked about the dollar cost average strategy, but I wasn't de-risking then. And then recently I discovered that I really need to de-risk and kind of really understand the game that I'm in. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk a little bit about it and, see if it makes sense for you as well. Heard again today from another person, Bitcoin ETH Solana, from another person, this time from a younger guy, smart as the Dickens, Chris Bernersky from I forget the name of his VC venture firm. But yeah, listen to him today with Raul Paul. Interesting. Then I listened again to my guy Gary Cardone talking about diversification is not the one. What? That's what dude said. Interesting. I wonder. I wonder if you're all in crypto and you're not in the NASDAQ and you don't have a 401k and you have TSP, you don't have a TSP, you don't have gold. Are you diversified or are you all in one thing? Feels like if you're all in crypto, you're all in crypto. That's what it feels like. I don't know. But do you need to niche that down even more? I don't know. Is the portfolio allocation that the likes of Raul Paul and Dan Tampiero correct? 90% Bitcoin, ETH, Solana. And, if you want to leave 10% for other stuff, it doesn't have to necessarily mean meme coins. Just figured it out today. Raul Paul likes to call it the degen stuff. Interesting. Outside of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana at 90% allocation. And then leave 10%, he says, for degen stuff and stuff you want to do, NFTs. But he called it kind of degen stuff, kind of put in meme coins along with it. And I got to thinking about it today when I was at the gym, that maybe that 10% could be the narratives and making your play in the narratives like AI and the RWA play. So anyway, or whatever, or meme coins, right? Whatever that might look like. Maybe it's the 10% is you can have it, meme coins, you can have the AI play, and you can have the RWA play. You can have the AI, the RWA, and the meme coin play in your 10% thing. So interesting. So I've been de-risking, trying to figure some things out. And I'm just thinking out loud. I'm certainly not beginning to claim that I have the answers. I'm just sharing with you some insights and sharing some people that I think are hugely smart in this space. And kind of sharing what they're doing. But in any case, I think I'm beginning to think of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana in the digital asset space. I'm beginning to think that maybe they are the FAA in Fang, or maybe they're the Ang in Fang. I'm wondering if that's what is going on. I'm wondering, or maybe they're the leaders in that. Maybe they're just the leaders, right? Maybe they're the leaders thus far since the inception of Bitcoin. Maybe they're just the leaders in that. You see what I'm saying? Maybe they could be the Fang. They could be three of the whatever, seven, six or seven, or maybe they are. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But as far as the cycles are concerned, their dominance in terms of market share, market dominance, is kind of there. Uh, um, I think you still have to put aside BNB, which is interesting. It's interesting that no one mentions BNB. I'm talking about no one, like no one, not Anthony Scaramucci, not Dan Tapiero, not Raul Paul, not Chris Berninsky, not Gary Cardone, not the Wolf of All Streets, not and the dude from Invest Answers, not Paul Barron. It's interesting to me. It's really, really interesting to me. It really, really is. Because, yeah, but anyway, I just find it fascinating. The dominance in market share between Solana and Ethereum is Solana's 3.76%. And BNB is 3.06%. I mean, fairly close, but it's interesting. And then I looked on DeFi Llama and I looked at it. I'm like, what's on BNB? When you look at the chain, it's about 4 billion in TVL, pancake swap, and then it's kind of bunch of stuff. It's interesting. Like I'm more familiar with what's going on with Flare Network than what's going on the BNB chain, and maybe that's just me. But in any case, it's interesting. I wonder. I was, and this is some food for thought. I saw something on YouTube earlier today. It was a couple of people, and then the next thing you know, it's coming down my YouTube feed. And the title of their videos were, and they were being interviewed, was 0 to a Million in Caspa, right? This new, it's kind of this new blockchain. 0 to a Million in Caspa. It was interesting. I was thinking, how did they hear about Caspa? And I didn't hear about it until now. Or the OM token, Mantra. Thing started actually in 2018, and it's 6 years later, it's just making its way. 6 years later. But I thought to myself, how come I didn't hear about Caspa? And then it got me to thinking, how many of you think that the crypto world knows about Flare Network? Right? It got me thinking like, we know because we know. And we were fortunate because Flare Networks reached out to the XRP community. They sought our attention. They sought out us. They sought out the XRPL community and ecosystem. That's how we come to learn about Flare. Isn't that odd? But a lot of the people over at Casper probably don't know about Flare. Or what about the people over in Mantle? Or Manta specific network? They probably don't know about Flare networks. Isn't it interesting? And my point to that is you don't know which one, layer one, is going to be the next up and coming layer one. You just hope to be blessed to be in the know and have an opportunity to participate. When I saw a flare the other day and 7 years in the making, I was shocked that it's been that long. It has been that long. Someone said 7 years. It doesn't feel like 7 years. It really doesn't. I mean, did we hear about Flare in 2017? I didn't remember hearing about Flare in 2017. I don't think it's been 7 years. I don't think that's accurate. But anyway, Michael Marchese says Raul and the rest of them are loaded. I'm not. Their idea is good for preservation, but I haven't come up like that. Yeah, I hear you, bro. I hear you. And it's interesting. I heard something very interesting today in an interview with Chris Bernersky and Raul Paul. And Chris said that capitalism, we're blessed to be in crypto because we can participate in capitalism. And capitalism is designed to grow your capital. I'm like, huh, that's interesting. And I just kind of looked at myself and said, when I got started in 2016, 2017, is my net worth, is it compounding? Is my net worth compounding because of crypto? Or do I just hold crypto? Yeah. Like, it was fascinating to see so many people, XRP holders, so many that had XRP, wrote it up and wrote it down. And then we went into the bear market. So they had a certain amount of a net worth in 2016, 2017, before the run. That net worth increased and then it decreased. And then they went into a bear market. So they had an opportunity to buy more XRP, accumulate. And then life happened with that lawsuit. And if you didn't get the 2020, 21 bull run, which we didn't, did your net worth increase from the beginning of 2017 till today? So are we investing or are we trading? What's going on, Felipe from Belgium? How are you, bro? Appreciate you checking in. Right? Are we trading or are we investing? If the intent behind capitalism is designed to grow your capital, is your capital growing? Yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting. Really, really just fascinating thought, something to think about for sure. Something to think about for sure. Joe, buddy's in the building. How are you, bro? Raul Parr is part of the venture capital crew, Ethan, Solana, and Jesus Coin Pump and Dumpers. Michael Marchese had the courage to answer the question publicly. He said, hell no. He said, man, don't make me look at it with open eyes. be a be a be a XRP content producer. It's interesting because isn't that what we all have to do? We all have to kind of take a look, an honest look, an assessment of where we are, and is our capital growing because of crypto? And if it's not, maybe there's moves to be made to change that up. And that's kind of what I decided in the crypto season. So I'm just going to start with a different strategy. Obviously, we talked about the dollar cost average for the last 90, 120 days. For sure, leveraging compounding, leveraging 150% growth from Bitcoin, maybe 200% from Ethereum, and 300% from Solana. Leverage that by compounding it and just take advantage of what it is. So, and I just thought today, okay, I got it. I got it now. Finally got everything. Got the DCA strategy down. Cool. I'm good. Got it down. Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, for sure. Got that down. And I thought about Maker, but if Maker is doing the same thing as Bitcoin, about 100%, Bitcoin's, if it's doing that, then maybe I don't need the Maker. I just have the Bitcoin. Yeah. So maybe, right? So that's what I decided. And then the other 10, so 90% there, get $100, 30, 30, 30, $10 in the narratives that may still play out. That's kind of how I'm thinking. I mean, again, I'm thinking out loud, not telling you guys what to do, but that's kind of how I'm thinking. Now, I've already made AI and RWA plays. Already made that. So I've already established a 10% bag. I just have to make sure that I'm heavily weighted, that my 90% is in fact 90%. If I got a crypto portfolio of 10,000, 9,000, it's got to be in Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana. If it's not, I have to plan accordingly. And again, this is not, we're not telling you guys what to do. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing and how I'm seeing things. And kind of going from there. The cool thing is there's a shot that in the 10%, in the 10% bag, I do have AI plays. I do have RW plays. I do have meme coins, couple of meme coins. Avalanche ecosystem, XRP ecosystem, Solana ecosystem. And it's just making me think out loud, maybe that 10% bag, I can include the narratives that I still think are going to make it, like AI, like RWAs, and like gaming. And then, your 10% bag is your 10% bag. However you build it, It's interesting. So I'm going to get to some videos and stuff here. I just want to welcome some more people into the live stream. Move Accordingly is in the building. How are you, bro? Life is good, man. How are you? Dag, what's that say? Dag Dev BG. Hello. What's going on, Dag Dev? How are you? Michael says, if I do that, I have to drop out of some of the stuff I have been very committed to for a while. It's emotional. Yes, it is emotional. It's emotional. I actually reached out to the crypto community in Real Vision and shared some thoughts. I'm going to share the response with you guys. I'm going to read it. I'm not going to share it visually because this person might not want his name and stuff, but I'm going to share his thoughts. Movement Accordingly says, my bags are looking healthy. Nice, bro. Nice. Good for you, brother. Good for you. Yeah, and it is an emotional thing. But I've just been, I'm hearing the same things from different people. So I have to be able to look at myself and say, what's going on here? If I'm hearing, wealthy people say something, like I don't buy the whole VC thing. Like I get that there are VCs. I get it. Right? I look at Shark Tank and I get it. And I can't say on Shark Tank that everyone is it Mr. Likeable, Mr. Unlikable? What is the Shark Tank guy? I think it's like everyone is not him. There's Mark Cubans, who I think is maybe a nicer, better version. The ladies seem to be a better version, right? Wonderful. Thank you, Michael. Mr. Wonderful. Right? Everyone's not Mr. Wonderful. Who really just looks to, just really just looks to freaking hamstring these owners. He's just looking to just hamstring them and take advantage of the fact that they're pretty new and doing what they're doing, inexperienced, and he's leveraging that. And that's what it looks like to me. So I think that when you talk about VCs and stuff, Joe, I think everyone, you can't put them all in the same bucket. And I also think that underneath it all, you got to understand the whole game. And right now, there's a game with the float and the FTV for sure. There's a game. And even though there's this 1-year cliff thing, there's still some stuff. And you got to know it. I have been discovering, it's just better for me to let a thing launch. Wait 60 to 90 days and pick some up then. Because this whole idea, it's not like the ICOs. The ICOs were different, even though you just have to just guard against the rugs. But in those ICOs, we're talking 60, 70, 80% in the market. Right? I mean, out there for us to snatch up with this whole airdrop thing and this whole, these launch pads and the whole 9 yards. It's these FTVs are getting it's kind of crazy. Now, there was a downfall to the ICO. And it's hard to know or try to remember from 2017 or so how many of ICOs actually a product came to fruition. I mean, EOS still don't really have anything. Like still. Oh, day trading. Dag Dev says, great, C's. Thanks for asking. Day trading, but growing the investment backs. Nice, bro. Are you following someone else's signals? Or are you're charting that stuff yourself? Move accordingly. Yeah, I hear you. Move accordingly says, if you are not participating in some of these liquidity pools, you're doing yourself a disjustice. Which liquidity pools are you in? Move accordingly. I'm in a couple. Yeah. Joe says Charles Hoskinson is successful. He spoke specifically on how the VCs in Silicon Valley work. Yeah, I know. Andreessen Horowitz and all the rest of them. Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Without question. That is how it works, for sure. I mean, without question. And even with that, I would say this. If you got ETH at $8, does it matter what the VCs are doing? If you got ETH at $8 or $16 or $160, does it matter to you what the VCs are doing? And does it matter to the builders building on Ethereum? Like, I don't think it matters. Oh, sure, the VCs are doing a certain thing to retail because they're leveraging retail. And some of them leverage the builders, people building as well. But your return on your money is your return on your money. And it doesn't make it any less because VCs are involved, right? Right? I mean, it doesn't make it any less because the VCs are involved. Ripple didn't play the VC. No, but Ripple has got shareholders. That's just a different game. It's just a different game. They have shareholders, right? It's just a different game. Ripple was blessed for sure, did not have to deal in the madness that is VCs, but they got investors who have significant amount of investment in that company. Like Mr. Yoshitaka Kitao. Oh, you under some liquidity pools in the XRPL. Moving accordingly is in some of the liquidity pools in the XRPL. Nice. XRPL, Flare Network, or my main one is Mag XRP. Nice. I hear you, bro. I was in that for a little bit. I got out. I was beginning to feel uncomfortable there. I did a video about it, in fact, and I actually apologized to the Mag team in advance. I'm like, I'm apologizing in advance, but I'm doing this video. I'm doing this video. So, but yeah. So yeah. So look, are you guys listening to Gary Cardone? I think the Gary Cardone is a big time value add to the community, to the digital assets community, and I think that Raul Paul is as well. I think that he is sharing some stuff and giving access to everyday Joe that they don't know. So definitely a move positive for sure. Oh, Dag Dev says no signals, just listening to wise folk who really talk about the projects like you. Well, thank you, bro. Nice. Joe says, has anyone had XRP and an ANM for over a month and can share the percentage they gained in 1 month? Yeah, I mean, I don't know why that's a question. What, like the percentage gained? Because the percentage gain that they gain is not going to equate to the percentage gain that you gain, because you have to know how to provide liquidity. You have to know the makeup of the pool. You have to know the DeFi game. If you don't understand it, the rules and principles behind it, like, what does it matter if someone got a gain or not a gain? The thing that I would ask is, do you know how to provide liquidity? Do you know the liquidity game, Joe? Like, do you understand it? Because it's not luck. It's not luck. It's a skill to it. Like, it's a literal skill. It's not swapping 50-50 XRP and USD and entering a pool. That's not it. And I think a lot of people think that's what it is. Oh, let me look at the APR. Oh, cool. Let me go swap some XRP for USD or USD for XRP and enter the pool. That's not it, bro. Like the AMM is not there to make you money. You have to learn the skills to leverage the AMM and leverage the liquidity pools. Just putting the stuff in, it ain't going to work. Like, it ain't going to work because the liquidity pairs are different. There's correlation, there's non-correlation. There's fees to enter and fees to exit. Those are important. The assets in the pool are important. It's like there's a lot of stuff that make a liquidity pair valuable for you to take your hard-earned, dirty, nasty fiat and put it in there. Like, there's some stuff that you need to know. You got to know how to rebalance. You got to know when to exit. You got to know what a trend looks like. You got to be able to read a chart. Like, right? It's just not the APR. Like, there's stuff to know. No, I know what you're saying, Joe. But what I'm saying to you is you're asking the wrong questions, bro. Like, you're asking the wrong questions. And by the look of those questions, that's hinting to me that you don't understand with these liquidity pools and how they work. Like you don't understand. Like you got example, if I put 100 in, 50 to XRP and the other 50 pool token in 30 days, how much more amount of does one gain in a month? Like there's all kind of factors there. There's all kinds of factors. What's the APR? What are the entry fees? What is it is it 0.1? Is it 0.02? Is it 1%? Like you have to know all those answers. You also have to know whether or not those pairs are correlated. You also have to know whether or not the liquidity pairs are a half a stable coin and half a volatile asset. You need to know if it's a full range pool or if it's a concentrated liquidity pool, right? Like you can't get an answer from just from those numbers, just a dollar amount. You have to know the ins and out of the pool. And in addition to knowing the ins and out of the pool, you also have to know what's going on in the market in reference to those pools. It's not as simple as putting $100 in and trading $50 for XRP and $50 in a token and expecting and trying to figure out how much you're going to get back. You're not going to know. You need to know what the fees are. You need to know what the fees are for one. You got to, and once you know what the fees are, you got to say how much liquidity is in the pool, how much 24-hour volume is in the pool. Those things you have to know. If you don't know those things, you can't even begin to come up with a number. Right? Like we go over on the channel, we've gone over several times. Like there's 7 things to consider before you enter in to a liquidity pool. Because it's not a savings account. Like it's not a savings account for sure. You can create cash flow if you know what you're doing, but you need a full plan. You need a full plan. This is what you can do here. This is what you can do there. This is what you like. You need a full plan. Just entering a liquidity pool because it has an APR associated with it, and then trying to do the math won't work. Like it won't work, especially not just for 30 days, right? Especially not for 30 days. There's occasion for that little 30-day thing. But most things, to win, you're going to be in months to win. Yeah. So it's a lot of stuff to it for sure. That's why I tell people to join the Patreon, join the mastermind, right? So I can share my guys with you guys and you can learn this because you can create cash flow. You can go from 0 to $10 a day. You can go from 0 to $20 a day, from $20 to $30 a day, from $30 to $50 a day, into $100 a day with the right strategy. But you got to learn the skills for sure. Definitely got to learn the skills. I wanted to share a very, very, very interesting video here with Raoul Paul and this guy, Chris Bernesky. Let me share that with you guys. Because Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, what if we're wrong? Or trading altcoins, what if we're wrong? Someone said it's Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and then everything else is a lottery. I'll share that with you guys. That's interesting. Dan Tapiero and Anthony Scaramucci both said Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and then the further down you go, it's more like a VC venture, Joe. Speaking of VCs, so it's more like a VC venture. And I began to think to myself, how often do the VCs win? VCs go into stuff knowing that 9 out of 10 times it's an L. And the VCs can afford to do that, but can you? Let's see. take a listen to one of the things here. Highly recommend you guys check this video out. Raul Paul puts this stuff out, available out for the masses. I highly recommend you check out this channel, Raul Paul, the Journeyman. But take a listen to this.
And with finance, it was the big wirehouses and asset managers,
Yes.
and it's broadening
Exactly.
out, and soon it's going to go everywhere.
Exactly. But then I fear what, like right now, the media, we're in a post-truth state, and we will work, humans innovate, and so we're gonna, figure that out. But I fear that we will enter a similar kind of post-truth, and maybe we're already in it for crypto. Like, what is a good investment, right? There's a lot of like skepticism and like, is this a rug? Is this not? And so a little bit in that splintering, it's like when you have the wirehouses or the 3 news channels, you just assume that's the truth. And then you splinter for a period, right? And you have, mass diversification and variety. And then that's like, okay, well, what are the good investments, or what is the real truth? And then the next stage from that is back down to the, filtration or selection of like, these are the things relevant to you, these are the things relevant to you. So perhaps that's the next step for us. I actually spoke with a team recently who's, thinking about using machine learning to, recommend to people tokens that are relevant to their interest. And so it starts to like look at your social and information graph and then filter down to tokens that could be relevant to you that are pre-selected as being quality, and so that's, very early stages of seeing that type of filtration, but we definitely need it.
But the issue is a lot of what is quality is social consensus. It's like you don't really know.
That's true.
I was having a great conversation with Meow from Jupiter, and we were talking about the fact that utility, in many cases, is the least valuable part of anything. If you think attention is everything, and the more attention you get, the more status you.
That's an interesting thing to say. Don't you think? He said the fact that utility, he was talking with the co-founder and whatever, he's a co-founder of the Jupiter exchange on Solana, who gave me $1,000 in crypto for being a participant on the exchange. Turned that into, some stuff. But he said that it's interesting that utility is the least important factor. It's interesting to me. And they both said it.
Yeah. If you think about the wine industry, Louis Vuitton handbags, all luxury goods, right? Their utility is actually very small. I can carry my lipstick and hairbrush and money in a bag. The difference between bag pricing is attention and status.
Totally.
And so it becomes very difficult in how to think about these things in this new world. Now, it's easy on the layer ones because there's metrics. We talked about this before. But the further out you go, the less you have anything to measure this on outside of social behavior and somehow measuring it. And does it matter to somebody? I don't know. There's just something in understanding this. And we've seen it with some of the more interesting memes that try to have utility. The moment they do it, you can value them on cash flows, and you just nuke the value because it's like, it's not, you shouldn't do that.
You can't do it.
Isn't that a little fascinating? They talk about that. It's funny. I saw Tika Tawari. How many of you guys remember Tika Tawari? You guys remember when Tika Tawari? Joe, were you around back in the Tika Tawari days? You guys know Tika Tawari? Make sure I go to the right one. You guys remember the Tika Tawari guy from back in the day? I think I'm losing my internet here. Ah, man, did I lose the live stream? What the world? No. How many of you guys remember the Tika Terrari from back in the day? Michael says, learn a new financial skill, right? Because it's amazing. That's what's really necessary. And I think the 2017-28 bull run has led to a lot of disillusion in the space. You guys remember Tika Toari? Tika Toari actually has he sells his crypto, stuff. And the internet's messing up. I apologize. He sells his crypto stuff. And he actually have his top 5 meme coin plays. He's selling a service for thousands and thousands of dollars. Typically, it's $5,000. Tika Toari. And he's now got a meme coin. Meme coins is part of his play. And he's selling a service for $5,000 for people and helping them and trying to help them to make money. He actually does a lot of exits and entry prices, targets. I mean, it's good for sure. It's worth it if you're willing to, if you feel like you don't have the time to get into the minutia of stuff. But I thought that was interesting. He had the 500x my top 5 meme coin plays or something like that. Yeah. Top 5 meme coin plays. So Chris said in this interview, he said that we're in a space where layer 0, this is the layer 0 to property rights. That's what crypto is. It's the layer 0 to property rights. You guys know we talk about the great taking quite a bit on this channel. We share with you. I know a few of you got that book and you downloaded the PDF and you read it and you realized and you did your homework. You went to the Uniform Commercial Code and you read Articles 8 and 9. You read every single sentence because sometimes you can stop short and you'll miss the next but or however in those codes. And you can see that it's actually a legal thing. 2 states have tried to change it and have failed. Their bankers sent their lawyers. And this was at the legislative level. And the lawyers ended up winning in court. And judges ended up starting to do something. And all of a sudden, the judge stopped doing it. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. But what do you think about when you think about that phrase? Crypto is the layer 0 to property rights. Are we getting? We're at that point now. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. We're getting more and more and more and more to that point. Lynette Zhang says it all the time. If you can't hold it, you don't own it. She's been sounding the alarm for years about it. If you can't hold it, you don't own it. And the great taking is just, it's a real deal, guys. It's not some conspiracy theory thing. Like it's an actual legal thing. And I think what everyone is doing is hoping that they never decide that there's some systemic risk and they have to do what they have to do. And is the banking crisis the warning for people? Is that really the warning that you probably need to get out of that 401k? Is the banking crisis probably telling you need to get out of that IRA, self-directed or otherwise? Is the looming banking crisis sounding the alarm for people and they're not paying attention? I wonder. I met a guy today in the gym. I mean, I knew him. I was talking with him, and he told me I asked him about why he was at the gym at a particular time. He's always kind of here early, like I am, and I know why I'm there early, right? Because I don't have a JLB. And I'm asking him how is it that he's there, and he said, he owns a business, he owns a company. I said, oh, okay, what do you do? This one told me he owns a company, and he had a 401k, and he took out from the 401k to start his business. And he said, I took the hit because he's 42 now. So when he did it, he was in his 30s, like 35. He took the hit, but it ended up being worth it. That's how I was able to buy $100,000 worth of Bitcoin and Ethereum, because I took the hit on the 401k and started a business that created cash flow and stuff like that. And I thought, man, it's a great story. And I told him about Gary Cardone. He says, you need to listen to this dude, Gary Cardone. Listen to him. See what he has to say. See if it makes sense to you. Move accordingly, says it. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. It's interesting. And I think I'm getting more and more to the point where I'm saying to myself, why risk it? Why risk it? Why is Raoul Paul saying that this is the answer? Like, this is the answer to the debasement of the currency, this inflation, and the monetary policies and the printing of the money. That crypto is the answer. It's the biggest trade in the history of finance. Dan Tapiero said the same thing. Dan Tapiero, hugely successful hedge fund guy. He said, this is the biggest trade in the history of finance. The biggest trade in the history of finance. Michael Mukasey, that's right. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Isn't that interesting? It feels like, doesn't it feel like crypto just kind of gets you back to those ethos? I think this is why Chris Bernanke said that layer zero, that crypto was the layer zero to property rights. I mean, with all this, isn't it interesting that with Bitcoin came self-custody? Isn't that interesting? They didn't talk about putting it somewhere else. I wonder if they are trying to tell us what they're about to do, and like, we're just not listening. Move accordingly says, Raoul Paul says, don't F this up. That's right. But I don't know. And so a lot of people think like Raoul Paul came into the space by way of Bitcoin. He 10x the Bitcoin. He thought he did great. He's like, oh man, that's awesome. And cashed out at 10x. And he said it went ahead and 10x further. And he was like, oh man, what the world? That was the worst thing ever. Because he cashed out. He took the 10x and he went home. And then he said he started looking at the charts and looked at ETH, and he said, this looks like this is like this. And so he got ETH. He took that 10x money and he got ETH at the bottom. He's a trader. He's a professional charts trader guy, right? Macro trader. So he got ETH at that right deal. Rolled that thing up, and he said it was exponential gains for him. I'm like, awesome, that's awesome. That $6, $8, $10 ETH thing, $16 ETH thing, whatever. And he just said he took that and he looked at the charts and said, Solana is going to be the ETH thing. And he put in Solana. It's interesting. What's going on, JR? How are you, my friend? Appreciate you checking in. But I thought it was interesting. So that's kind of been his journey, really. And he started this Real Vision thing. And I think Raoul is a big value add to the average Joe and Jane who just don't understand, because they've never been in this kind of thing, in finance or any kind of finance before. My thing is I'm going to listen to the people who've been there, because I haven't. I was a federal employee. I was a right, in aviation, right? I was a marketing guy and it built a marketing, sales and marketing team, but that's not finance. Money was great, but that's not finance. That's not in finance, right? This is about finance. Chris Miles says they always telegraph to the profane. They really do. It's interesting. Like, for example, are they telling us what they're planning to do because all the central bankers are snatching up so much gold? In other words, they have some plan for gold, whether it's to create, the reset and have gold back and stuff again, or whatever it is. Like kind of signaling that, right, about gold. I don't know if that means we should buy gold or not. I mean, I don't know. I saw what's his name? Jim Merkich talking about a $27,000 gold. So from 2,300 to 27, that's 10x on a reset front. That's just a Tuesday in crypto. You know what I mean? Move Accordingly says they helped me out a lot. Listen to them, and I took a chance, and now I DCA in a good bit of crypto. Who'd you listen to? Move Accordingly. Michael McCasey says, as Cardone says, gold is not a finite asset like Bitcoin. Michael's been listening to Gary. That's right. Says that all the time. Gary, I'm telling you, Gary's a smart guy. Gary went on a little rant about diversification and the kind of the misleading about diversification. So anyway, guys, I wanted to let you guys know I'm on that Bitcoin ETH Solana thing, and with the DCA strategy as well, and what the 90% obviously, and then with the 10% back, I'm just gonna play the narratives. Now I've already bought the narratives. I've already bought the meme coins. I've already bought the AI, and I've already bought the RWAs. I just got to make sure that whatever that amount is ends up being the 10%. Even if I'm growing it, it's going to be the 10% for me in the crypto seed zone. And the Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana is going to be the 90%. I think it's the narratives. So, and when I look on Banner Bubbles, when I see the stuff that is outpacing, oh, Raul Paul, nice, okay, very good. So you're part of the Real Vision thing, Move Accordingly, or you just you watch his videos? Because I think he's a big time value add to the community for sure. But when you look at Banner Bubbles, like I'm going to share the Banner Bubbles with you guys, and you look at the stuff that is outdoing Bitcoin, outperforming Bitcoin by 3-figure percentage. I mean, it's great if it's 50%. I mean, that is great. You're outdoing Bitcoin by 50% for the year. I think that's great. But I think the 3-figure ones are obviously better. You watch this video and take notes. Nice, moving quarterly. Smart. The Real Vision thing is free. I joined the free thing, and I'm going to join the paid version probably at the end of the year. Let's look at Banner Bubbles. Reconnecting. All right, let's see if it's going to reconnect. I'm going to try and refresh this and see if it'll connect here. Man, one of my VPNs I was on today was slowing down my internet big time. Like, I mean, like, what the world? I had to switch off of that thing. All right, so here it is here. Now I got this filter set to compare to Bitcoin, right? You just go here, you go to settings, and someone told me you just change that there to BTC, and then it's all these numbers are in reference to Bitcoin for the year. You can change it for the month, for the week, for today, for the hour. I did it for the year. And when I look at the biggest gainers over Bitcoin, these are three of these with Bonk and Brett are meme coins, which is the narrative. And I ask myself, people want to say that they're somehow lesser than NFTs. And what Raul Paul and Chris Beninsky and Dan Tapiero are saying, they're the same. They're outside of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, and there are narratives in the space. And forgive me again, the Wi-Fi is just not great. But these are meme coins, right? These are meme coins. Pepe is a meme coin. I don't know what OM is or does, but this is Mantra. And I believe they're in the Cosmos ecosystem, I believe, but this OM token. And they just kind of blasted on the scene. I mean, blasted on the scene. They've been around since 2018, but they finally gained the traction that they wanted, and there it is there. So I don't know about Mantra. Let me know if you guys know what that is. So here's Solana, 236% outpaced in Bitcoin. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. I just know this internet is not great. Internet is not great right now. But which I highly encourage, this is free. It's banterbubbles.com. Banterbubbles.com. It's free. You can go there, sign up for free. You go to your settings and you change this thing here to BTC. And you look over here and you set it on a year. And these are the things that are out doing Bitcoin. 3 meme coins, Mantra, the open network, which is Telegram. So you got meme coins, and I'm going to share the stuff that is not in the meme coins AI or RWAs. The open network and the gaming platform on it is called Knot. So you got Knot in the open network, TON. You got Caspa, new layer 1, like TON, 239%. New to the game, new to me in the game, right? Got Caspa. I'm talking 100% or more is what I'm sharing. Near protocol is at 104%. So you want to count that. It says 1, 2, 3, 4, and Knot is on time. So I'll say it's 5. It's 5. And Floki, I don't know what Floki is, but I think it's a meme coin. So that's 5 at 100% or more. 5. And I feel like you got to ask yourself, did you have those? Did you know about them? I heard about Telegram. I paid no attention to it. I was too busy paying attention to other stuff. Like you can't pay attention to everything, right? But when you look at the narratives of AI and RWAs, you got fetch, undo, fetch and undo. That's two. Oh, Pit Tensor is no longer. That's 90% now. But Arweave is at 120%. That's AI. Akash is AI. So you got Akash AI, Arweave AI. Let's see. And undo. So undo is RWA. So you have one RWA and you have Akash, Arweave as the AI plays. Rune moved out there. They were a three-figure, 100%. But and Jasmine is Internet of Things. I don't know how you count the Internet of Things. I don't know if you count it in some other thing. I don't know. But I have Jasmine and I have undo. As one RWA play. I don't know what Jasmine is. I guess it's an internet thing. But my AI plays are not in here. I don't have Arweave. I don't have Akash. I don't have that. And I think Near Protocol is really an AI play as well. So you got three here and you got undo. Now undo is kind of probably like the big AI play, kind of like the big AI play. So you got some layer ones, Caspa, the open network, Mantra. But did you pick them? Were you fortunate enough to be in the know to have been able to benefit and now be outpacing Bitcoin? I watched a video today. I watched it a couple of days ago. I watched some of it again today. And the dude said, if your token is not outpacing Bitcoin right now, OM is an RWA play, says DagDev. Thanks for sharing, Earl. Hopefully this stream is working. Can you guys hear me good? Because it did disconnect. It had to reconnect. But DagDev says that OM Mantra is an RWA play. It's up 2,100% over Bitcoin. I didn't know it was RWA. I heard Steak Cito talking about it in this YouTube video today. I didn't know it was an RWA play. Guys, do me a favor and hit that like button, please. That would be super, super cool. We always like to have just as many likes as we have viewers in the stream. It's one of the best ways to get this stream or channel out to more people. We got to let more of us know that there's a new financial system being built right underneath their noses. We got to let them know, because if this is the biggest trade in the history of finance, don't you think more people need to know? OM is an RWA play. 21% up on the year over Bitcoin. 21%. Chris Miles says, will derivatives survive in the Great Taking? In the Great Taking, anything that's kind of deemed as collateral is going to be toast. It's going to be snatched up by someone. So it's going to be snatched up by the powers that be, claiming that they need that collateral to solve the issues, the challenges and problems that they created. So I would say, yes, derivatives are included. If, in other words, like people think if you have a TD Ameritrade or Charles Schwab or one of those brokers, they're not the real owners of the stuff. They're telling you that you're the owner, but they're not the real owner. And you're not the real owner. There's some people, he's clearing these CPs, he's clearing something, I forget the name of them that he calls them. They're the real owners of the stuff. Move accordingly. You better to hold in your hands. Yeah. And so you can look for your thing in your crypto and see if it's outdoing. because my guy says at this point in the bull run, I'll let you listen. I'll let you guys listen. If your stuff ain't the one, I mean, that had me thinking hard. Now, let me see. I wonder if he took the Q&A out of this, because I think he answered it in the Q&A. Let me see. He said this in the Q&A, which was interesting. But this looks like it's edited. He might have taken a key.
We can get much deeper in the market and take on much higher risk again. But until that happens, my stance on the market right now is to shuffle your portfolio again into stronger performing assets, into assets that have gotten retail adoption, and to heavily accumulate the proven assets of the cycle, which are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. Very simple. As long as you have that, I think that's a very easy strategy to carry out for the next 2 months until the uptrend starts again. That's it. A little bit ranty today. I'm still just getting back into the flow of these live streams. Hopefully that is clear. We have covered all the points that people have considered, from price, from Germany, from Mt. Gox, from Bitcoin ETFs, from rate cuts, presidential election, and all the major catalyst events, both bullish and bearish, in order to consider where we are at in the Bitcoin cycle. And I really think this is the time to stay greedy and prepare to buy instead of exiting the market. A lot of people are calling this way too early and saying this is the end of the entire bull run. But looking at price history, looking at where we are at in the cycle, this has happened before multiple times, especially right around this time, right after the Bitcoin halving. So don't get shaken out at this time. This is really just a crucial time that you need to persist through in order to see the second half of the bull run, which usually is much easier time and majority of the gains. So just stay in the market, hang in there. The next 60 days will be rough, but as long as you follow this strategy that I have just laid out, you should be fine. Good to see you guys again. Thank you for joining the live stream as usual. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down in the comments, and any follow-up questions that you may have, join two things. Number one, my Twitter on virtualbacon0x. This is where I drop day-to-day alpha before I make them into these in-depth videos and live streams. We tweet about all the things I look at every day, sometimes even trade setups. And number two, join our Discord.
Yeah, so
discord.gg/virtualbacon, link in bio.
Yeah, he edited out the Q&A, but he did say in that Q&A, he said, I don't know what to tell you, but because he was answering questions, if your thing is not the one, right? If it's not outdoing or on pace with Bitcoin or outdoing it, then it's, it's not going to do it. But that's what he said. But he also mentioned the thing about Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana as well. So everyone's got to kind of make their own decisions, because in the end, people want the bigger gains for sure, right? They want that opportunity to kind of get the bigger X's. I just wonder. For me, I had to look at it and say, I had to just keep reevaluating and understand that I can still go for the big stuff. I just got to manage the portfolio in a different way. I can't be weighted the wrong way. In other words, for me, I can't be weighted 90% outside of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, and have the Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana be the 10%. Right? That's for me. Looking good doing it, says XRP is about to make a move. I hope so. We've been waiting for it. I hope so. I do hope so. I hope it gets to some nice double-digit figures, so a lot of XRP holders can do some great things. I really, really do. And I hope that it becomes an asset that you can continue to accumulate and compound going forward, after 2025. I really do hope so. It's up 8% right now. It's up 8% again. So, any case, Gary Cardone. Let me share something with the guy who's had 9-figure exits, and see what he says here about diversification versus concentrated.
What exactly does that mean and why?
Yeah, I think it's
Tell me about concentration and diversification. I often hear that concentration builds wealth and diversification preserves wealth. What exactly does that mean and why?
Yeah, I think it's a misunderstood concept, consolidation or a concentrated, highly concentrated investment versus a diversified investment. I'm rarely diversified. I don't like being diversified. I think, first off, the true story is that great wealth is made through highly concentrated positions. Examples: Warren Buffett owns 52% of his portfolio is Apple. Okay, that's not what most people think of Warren Buffett and diversification when they use diversification. I think 4 or 5 companies make up maybe 75-80% of his entire portfolio. That's not diversification the way you and I think about it. Jeff Bezos, all consolidation in Amazon. Elon Musk has 4 investments: SpaceX, Tesla, X. You get my point here? The Rothschild family, all these wealthy monster bankers started with one position. The oil business, one business, right? They got so big that the antitrust department comes in, DOJ comes in and breaks up Standard Oil and puts it into 8 different companies. That was so big that the 8 companies became super majors. Great wealth, big families, they then start diversifying. If you hear the people, who talks about diversification? Wall Street bankers, investment bankers, stock trading people, advisors, RIAs.
Look, I'm going to stop that there. I'm going to put this in the chat for you guys. But I just wanted some food for thought. Just some food for thought. And again, I'm just kind of sharing my thoughts and kind of where I am. And I'm on this concentrated thing. And for me in crypto, this is what Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana is. I started the stream saying, I wonder if Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana are the FANG or the FAA of the FANG in crypto. Or are they just the front runners of it? I don't know, but there's a link to the video right there for you guys to check out. I highly recommend it. Gary's a really, really smart guy. And again, hugely successful. He was actually more successful. He had his success way before his twin brother, Grant Cardone. Way before. And he did it in, outside of real estate and in different businesses. But yeah, had a 9-figure exit with one of his businesses in the multi, yeah, like 400. I think he said it was 400 million. He was supposed to get 800 million, but they screwed something up. Anyway, there's that video there. There's a link for that video. Just want to share that with you guys. It's kind of where I am. Again, I'm just kind of thinking out loud. For me, I can't hear what I'm hearing enough. And that has signaled for me to Virtual Bacon said, shuffle it around. And, you know, I call it de-risking, because where we are in the cycle. You know, looking good doing it says, wow, just a couple of long-term assets, right? And so, because they've established, like Virtual Bacon was saying, retail adoption. Raul Paul says adoption, network adoption is up on the adoption curve. But they produce this year-over-year return that's been consistent for years. Bitcoin's about 150%. Solana, Ethereum's about 200 and something percent. Solana is actually 300 and something percent. And so you can leverage that for compounding, accumulating. And this is exactly what Gary Cardone is saying in his concentrated thing. That's exactly what Simon Dixon was preaching for years, when all up in the Celsius thing, he just kept saying over and over again. Over and over again, he said that. Now, he's a maxi for sure, but he just kept saying, stop paying attention to the value of your Bitcoin and start paying more attention to the quantity of your Bitcoin. But he's not an ETH guy. He's not a Solana guy. He's, you know, when you're losing 300 Bitcoin, and it's like, all right, there's a bankruptcy, it's gone. Okay. You have to have a lot of Bitcoin to feel that way about 300 Bitcoin. But just, you know, the more and more I hear stuff, the more and more I just got to look at, why are these dudes that are hugely successful before they entered crypto saying what they're saying? And maybe I'm just, it was wrong. Maybe I looked at it the wrong way. And maybe I looked at it the wrong way. And so, never selling the XRP that I have, but I'm paying more attention to the portfolio and de-risking. That's what I'm doing in the crypto season. So what I mean by de-risking is, if I had, like, today I sold Polylastic. Just as an example. If you hold it, I'm not telling you to do this. But I sold the Polylastic. And let me share this chart, because you'll be like, you sold that? Yeah, and I sold it, right? And this will be a great case study too as well. Let me share the chart with you guys. It's a case study. I'm willing to be the example, and I could be wrong, right? It's so funny because I was looking for I think I was looking for a PolyX, and I came across this. Which is interesting. Anyway, so yeah, it's up 8% now that I sold it. I think that's awesome. Like, this was just at, I think, 409 or something kind of crazy. I have no idea. I think this was 409. I think this was just 3 digits. I think it was 41 something. Now it's 4 digits. So anyway, it's up 8% in a matter of minutes. Now, you look at this, you say 1 million market cap and 1 million fully diluted. 79 billion of the 98 billion is circulating. Like, these numbers are great, right? Okay. Now, I had a small amount of money in this. Small amount. I checked my ledger. It's a small amount. I made a $15 purchase, and then I made a $100 purchase. That's just a small amount. And I looked at the chart. It's down 63% on the year. And I look at my thesis and where I am and what I want to do. And does this fit into that thesis? And like our guy, Michael Marchese was saying, it's emotional. But anyway, I had this for a long time. It's 1 million market cap now, currently. And I sold it. It's up 19% from the all-time low, 1252. It's down 99.8%. There was a time where I would look at this and snatch this up, right? Chart looks great. I pay attention to their Twitter, and they've done some revamping and some rethinking and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to see, because when I see this, when I see 1 million market cap, I see the circulating, all these things look good. The question is, when is this a good look? Or maybe a better question is this in your 10% portfolio or not? Or would I keep this in my 10% portfolio or not? And for me, I had to say no. Again, it was a small amount. I had to say, I'm de-risking to build up the projects that are creating network adoption. And I got to start de-risking from maybe this thing is a great thing or not. When you look at it, you have to, but this will be a great case study because I'm going to pay attention to this. And I could swear that when I sold it, it was 4 something. Like, I don't even think there was a 1 there. I really don't. But I put a small, you know how we do, didn't change the game. Small amount, initial amount was small. Then I started looking at it and I saw some stuff and I said, okay, I'll give it $100. I put $100 more, but it was $115. I sold it for $85. Took the L. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. So you guys can follow along with me. We'll see. We'll check at the end of 2025 and see. That'll be a great case study. Keyless is in the building. How are you? So yeah, it's Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and obviously I'm not selling my XRP. But I'm and this again, this is just me and not telling you guys what to do, but I am certainly adopting this 90% thing. And then I got my 10% thing, and I got my DCA strategy. And my 10% is going to make up the narrative. Meme coin, I already got her. RWA plays, already got it. And I have to reevaluate my AI play because my AI plays currently are not outpacing Bitcoin. They're currently not. But we got about 60 to 70 days. You can cash out on Coinbase, Keyless. You can cash out Coinbase, KuCoin for sure. But Coinbase, you can cash out if you wanted to cash out. I heard that Bybit is like the #2 exchange now in the world. It's Bybit, not Binance. That's what I heard, which is crazy. But so anyway, that's kind of where I am. Just thinking out loud, some food for thought. Highly encourage you guys to listen to that video from Gary Cardone. See if it makes sense for you. And definitely that interview on the Raoul Pal, the Journeyman YouTube channel, Raoul Pal, the Journeyman, and listen to that interview. It's only an hour and like hour and a half. Him and Chris Berneski. Yeah, that's right, Keyless. Yep, Coinbase. You can deposit your XRP, sell it in the USD, and then get it into your bank. But so that's kind of where I am. Let me know in the comments what you guys are doing. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. I've just heard, for me, I've heard too many people say the same thing over and over again. And these people are smart people. These people are the money people, like Dan Tapiero, Anthony Scaramucci, Raoul Pal, now Gary Cardone, Chris Berneski. I'm just hearing that same thing. And I had to finally come up with this thing. Well, how do you get there? How do you still play narratives? How do you still take a shot on the 20X, 30X, the 40Xs, and all that. 90%. Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, 10%. The other stuff that you want to do. $100, 90 Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, 30, 30, 30. $10. I'm gonna take this $10, and this $10 is gonna be undo. The next $10 might be India X-ray Sierra, which is I think IX swap. The next $10 might be when meme coin. The next $10 might be adding to Jasmine or adding to when. Right? You see what I'm saying? But the 90, right? So you got the DCA, it's 90-10. And so this way you still have your 10% for maybe you catch Caspa. I don't know. Obviously, Flare is going to fall into the 10% FLR tokens. Kind of makes sense. Feeling like it's making sense. Yeah, I mean, when you hear outside of those three, it's more like a VC venture play. It just makes me think. Just oh, I hear you, Keelan. Keelan says, I'm glad I can tune in and get some info from you, Siege. It's been a struggle trying to keep up nowadays. Work has been kicking my butt behind. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. You know, so that's kind of where I am. You know, I mean, VC, it's more like VC venturing. Why would a guy with 40 years of experience in traditional finance, Wall Street, hedge funds, why would he say after Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, it's more like a VC play? And if the VC play is 1 out of 10, are you prepared to be good with that? And it's crazy too, because the 1 out of 10 doesn't mean a 5X or a 10X or a 15X. It just means you didn't lose money. Yeah, and it's not, yeah, and it's the ones with the liquidity looking good says, oh, you're good to go with the ones with the best liquidity at the time. And it's not just the liquidity. Liquidity is true, but it's network adoption. It's a growing amount of people building. It's a growing amount of daily active users. It's it's kind of, those kind of things. But the main thing is it's adoption of the blockchain. It's adoption of the network. A Bitcoin ETF and Ethereum ETF is signals a high adoption of the network. Right? That's to me, that's what it signals. And then I hear Matthew Siegel from Van Eck, speaking about the Solana ETF, and he filed the paperwork, and him addressing why not the XRP ETF. It just makes me think. It had me thinking. It doesn't have me enough thinking for me to exit out of XRP. But it had me thinking, what's my portfolio balance and structure like? Because XRP is in the VC venture range. It's in the VC venture range. According to Dan Tapiero and Raul Paul, and so we'll see. But boy, I got to tell you, I'm encouraged by the access that retail is going to have once we get this freaking liquidity in the market. And once we get retail back in the market, they're going to have access They're going to be able to get on Coinbase. They're going to be able to get on Binance US, I think. They're going to be able to get on Uphold. They're going to be able to get on all these exchanges now. All these exchanges and get this asset. So I think that does bode well for this bull run. But the market's going to let us know. Market's going to let us know. And if it does, if it responds, I'll be back on the accumulation in 2026. If it responds. DagDev says, I love Flare Network because it's what? Be around after the cycle? It will be around after the cycle. Yeah. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And again, I liken Flare Networks to Caspa. And this L1 that just came out of nowhere with this next level technology, and I haven't heard about it. Have you? That Marathon mining company is mining that crypto instead of Bitcoin. I'm like, what? What? Yeah, that's what's going on right now. And now I don't know how much is up for the year, but I don't own any of it. And I don't know if I'm in a position to take advantage of it now or not. I don't know. I think it's less than 20 cents, but I don't know. I have to get things structured right first before I take dirty, nasty fiat and put it into some other thing. Dagdes said, yep, Casper is what I will be something into when I sell my lower caps. I don't know why this heart thing's right away. I will be tackling into when I sell my lower caps. Trading into, okay. Casper is what I will be trading into when I sell my lower caps. That sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. So for sure. But I didn't hear about it. But I think we may be blessed with Flare Networks and that we're fortunate enough to be in the know. Because I don't think the people at Casper know about Flare Networks. I don't think the people in Mantra know about Flare Networks, right? Isn't it amazing? Because how can you? There's so many things out there. How can you know? Like, how can you know? Casper ID is a DAG man? What does that mean? Constellation man? What is that, DAG? OS. Okay, yeah. It looks like very interesting technology. I checked them out. I went over to their stuff. It looked like very interesting technology. And I thought, man, why is Marathon mining that? It makes you think, right? It really does make you think. But anyway, Flare's been around for a minute. Maybe Flare is that one L1 that gains attraction and gets the network adoption that we're all hoping for. I mean, how cool would it be to get these Flare drops the way we're getting them and have that thing do its thing? It'll be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see. But we got what? Till 2026? Is it January 2026? So I don't know how it's going to respond with Flare drops, during the cycle. I don't know. I really don't know. Inflation went down from 7% to 5%, but I don't know how it's going to respond in the market. I really don't. I wish I knew, but I don't know. I'm excited about the projects, getting ready to launch on it, though. Kinetic Markets, Scepter launched, Enosis launched, XDeFi is launching. So we'll see. But hopefully we'll have some Flare millionaires doing videos the same way that we had. I saw some Caspa people doing videos. And speaking of Caspa, I got to see what am I going to do with my Casper tokens. Yep. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. We'll see. All right, fam. So there it is. Check out that Gary Cardone video. See if it makes sense to you. Check out that Raoul Pal video with Chris Berners-Lee. See if something resonates with you. I appreciate you. Looking good doing this as Casper will blow, man. Hidden gem, yeah. It's down the risk curve. We'll see. It's in the risk curve. We'll see. Only thing I can do is see. These will be great lessons. I can tell you that after this run, 24 to the end of 2025, it's going to be a great lesson. It's going to be a great lesson for sure. Because now I'm going to be able to see, well, Casper is not in that band for bubbles. It's not currently outperforming Bitcoin. Right? You look at the chart for Casper. It's not outperforming Bitcoin. It's not on the band of bubbles. So I got some really good reference points and it's a lot of good learning. And we'll see. We'll see. Is it going to get network adoption or not? It's currently at 2 cents. All-time high was $1.33 in 2021. What is it going to do? All the tokens are essentially out. That's great. Market cap is 255 million. What do they have going on that's going to create network adoption and users and builders? Are they going to grab market share? We'll see. We'll see. Let's see here. So when things go bananas, we'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping. What do we got going on here? Well, I'm hoping. All right, fam. There it is. Thanks so much for hanging out. Looking good and doing it. I appreciate you checking in. Deb, thanks for checking in, bro. Move accordingly. I appreciate you being here. Keyless, the lady of crypto, as always. I appreciate you being here. Joe checked in. I appreciate you being here. JR and Chris Miles. I appreciate you guys for sure. Michael Marchese, my guy. Thanks for checking in. Move accordingly. Thanks for checking in. Felipe from Belgium. Thanks for checking in, bro. Chris, I think I said Chris Miles already. Appreciate you guys being here, making sure I didn't miss anyone. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button on the way out. That'd be super, super cool. And if you're a part of that 45% or so of people that are hanging out, listening to and watching the Crypto Seeds and haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. And don't, if you enjoy the hangouts, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this one like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye.